Kenie, you good?
I think so.
We need to take a couple of deep breaths, okay?
And you were an awesome coach. I no longer say I'm a massage therapist or a marketing manager. I'm a UX designer and researcher.
I know that's right. Welcome to another episode of Promoted, a podcast about leaving low-wage work for good. I'm Damisi Fawole, today's host and a Merit America coach. Today, we're talking about navigating career transitions in a challenging job market, especially while balancing other responsibilities like parenting. I am excited to introduce today's guest, Kenie, who has done exactly that. She successfully made a career transition during a tough job market while parenting. Welcome to the show, Kenie.
Thanks for having me, Damisi.
Of course. I remember when you first joined Merit America. Feels like it was so long ago, but it's been wonderful just watching your journey, watching your progress from when you first started, asking all these questions, kind of unsure of yourself, and then getting to a point where you are just like owning your story, owning your journey. And so, I would just love for you to quickly share what you were doing before the program and what you're doing now.
Before the program, I was in the holistic field for over 10 years as a massage therapist, and then I transferred into a manager and a marketing manager managing studios. So my most current role was with an internship as a lead UX designer for a financial educational app that we were able to work on that recently just ended. But then I've still continued with the owner of that app, helping amongst other things.
Okay, very cool. So let's dive deeper into your background. You told us about you being a massage therapist, but can you share a little bit more about where you were before Merit America? Think about, when you were young, like what'd you want to be and what were you doing for the majority of your life?
I love helping people. I love being around people and communicating with them, helping them find whatever need it is that they have. So massage therapy was perfect for that. Before I picked to be a massage therapist, I was stuck between choosing which IT career I wanted or massage. And I decided to go for the massage first. And so after, I got carpal tunnel and tendonitis from just overworking myself, it was like, okay, well, now it's IT, right? I've already done that field. And so here I am now. IT is so broad. I wasn't sure like which field in IT to pick. But then UX design, it kind of mirrored my personality. So it was a smooth transition.
So when you think about coming into Merit America, deciding to choose UX design, what were the specific changes that you hoped to see in your life and career that led you to UX design?
Well, I wanted something that will also allow me to work remotely. Something that if I travel, I can travel the world and still have a job that pays well as well too. That was like the main thing.
I know that's right. Especially as a parent, I know that flexibility is super important. So that makes a lot of sense. So we often have a very specific goal for our careers. Some of us may have already started that career journey. Maybe like, for example, let's say I always wanted to be in the tech industry, so I got a job in tech. But then we realize like this career path isn't necessarily for me, and that's okay. So then the question becomes, how do we get to where we want to be in our career? So we know that career transitions are not easy, but they're doable. And you are here to show us exactly that. Can you tell us a little bit more about how UX matches your personality?
It's a huge empathy. You have to have empathy, which was one thing that connected me with UX design. Understanding that clients need, what they're going through, what their wants are. It was also similar to massage because with massage, it's the client is the main goal, like, trying to help fulfill whatever needs they have, whatever pain they have, trying to understand what they're going through. Even at times, sometimes a client, they know something hurts, but they're not sure why. so it's problem solving, assessing their gait, how they're walking, how they're sitting. And so those are just things I naturally love. So when it comes to user-centered empathy, problem solving, and then having to customize a plan for them, it's the same with UX design.
It sounds like you're also really interested in not just like putting a Band-Aid on a problem, but you want to kind of get to the root cause of the problem and really get at the bigger, more foundational issues that people might be experiencing, whether that's in their body or whether that's like when they're using an app. So I hear you took a career break at one point in time. So I would love to know what led you to take a career break. What was it like transitioning into a new field while being a parent?
I took a career break because I wanted to focus on homeschooling my little ones. That was very big for me, which is why I wanted a job that I can do remotely. So I wanted to make sure that their UX experience, that their user experience,
Right.
while going through that learning process, was a good one. I wanted to make sure that I was able to provide them with a good foundation and I was understanding their learning patterns and what they were going through so that I could better provide for them in that field.
Wow, that's amazing. Homeschool is not easy.
It
Any
is
kind
not.
of any kind of teaching position, anything working with children is not easy at all. So I just commend you and give you all the kudos for that. What were the biggest challenges you faced during that year at home homeschooling your children, and how did you navigate those challenges?
The year I took off homeschooling, it was a lot. But I was homeschooling my little ones prior, but this
Okay.
allowed me to hone in more on what I needed to. Busy, very busy, but fun at the same time too. It was very rewarding, and then when I started at Merit America, I was still homeschooling and working part time somewhere else. And time management was very essential. It is the foundation, the base, and the heart. Um, trying to make sure that not only was I learning everything, but I was comprehending what I was learning and being able to retain the information while also making sure my children were also learning and retaining their information. And then just balancing the whole family life and the dynamic. It was a lot, but it's doable.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot. And yeah, it sounds like you are a superwoman because you were able to kind of do it all. But I would love to know, like, practically, give me some practical tips, tricks, tools that you use to actually navigate it and to balance the homeschooling with the Merit America, with the working and other things you were doing.
Well, setting up a schedule, so my little ones know, like, okay, in the morning time, that's their time, that's our time to go over what we have to go over, read certain things. Also, lots of trips to the libraries. Um, any type of events where they could connect with other children as well too who were also homeschooled. And then in the afternoon was while they were out playing and having their free time, I took that time to go through certain things, study, practice on Figma, their old Figma. um, and while also working on my case studies. And then, we had that um, team meetings.
Oh, yeah, our
I think,
squads.
yeah, squads, which was at
Hmm.
6, which was very helpful. And you were an awesome, awesome coach to be able to ask you questions if I had questions and message you. And you were very encouraging. So you were actually a big part of what helped me to continuing to do what I had to do, having that support. So that's also another reason why I'm glad I picked Merit America was the coaching, having those sessions,
Hmm.
having someone that is there was, oh my goodness. I don't think I could have went through it without a coach.
Ah, that's amazing. I'm so happy to hear you say that. Just how you genuinely felt supported. You felt like it helped you manage things because, yeah, like as a parent and everybody had different things going on in their lives. And so, like, you have the dream, you have the ambition, but then certain things just lifes. And I know I said that a lot during the program, like, life is just lifing this week. And so I like that I was able to just affirm y'all in that, encourage y'all through that, and stick with y'all. And I feel like you were definitely an ideal learner because you didn't need a lot of pushing. Like you already had the inner motivation. You knew what you wanted to do, and you were very proactive about communicating with me when things were going on. So, yeah, I think this was a very wonderful pair, and I'm just glad that we were able to work well together. So. With that, did you ever experience any imposter syndrome or struggle with perfectionism during this time of transitioning into the UX field?
Yes, all the time and still do. When I'm applying to roles, sometimes I feel like I'm not qualified enough, especially when, they're asking for 5, 6 years experience. It makes me kind of second guess if to apply. But I think it was you in our sessions that said just give it a shot. It doesn't hurt to apply. But yeah, with my internship, um, I was the lead UX designer, and at first I was like, I don't even know why they. Well, I do know, but because I've managed before, but it's just a new field. So, in the beginning, I wasn't as confident, but as I got in tune with everything, it's like managing is managing, making sure everyone is heard, making sure everyone's on the same page, making sure that we're able to deliver our deliverables on time, communication. It was the same skills. I had to realize, and then the skills that I were not. So my imagination is further than my skills when it comes to Figma at times. But the one thing I realized that kind of helps me get over that at times is continue to develop my skills so I'm more sure of myself.
I love your perspective shift on imposter syndrome. And I know, when you don't see positives come from what you're doing, or when you don't get callbacks from jobs, like that imposter syndrome can really, really settle in. But thankfully, I mean, you have had opportunities, maybe not even as many as you would have liked, but you have had opportunities come your way. And so I think that also can help with the confidence because it's like, okay, well, I wasn't perfect, but I still got this chance and I was able to learn these things and get better. And I love just your emphasis on learning and growing and progress over perfection because you're new to this field, so it's impossible for it to be perfect. Like, where do you go from here? If everything's perfect, like, why are you even doing this? So I love that perspective shift, and I can also resonate a lot with that because I call myself a recovering perfectionist. Like, it's a disease because sometimes it feels like it's a condition that you gotta get over. But with that, did you experience setbacks or rejections in your job search? If so, how did you handle those?
A couple of jobs that I applied for that was like my top jobs. And all I got back was an email because I mean, just getting an interview is hard, or sometimes I don't hear anything back and I'm still hopeful, like maybe it's piles of resumes and they just didn't get to me yet. But how I handle that, I go look for another job to apply for. Because there's nothing I could do about it. It's out of my control, that's really all I do. Just go back and I try to go through the qualifications and the description again and see what I had or didn't have. I would wish that, when you get that email that says, unfortunately, we've decided to go with a different candidate, that it would explain why. That would be nice. But unfortunately, that's not what happens a lot of times. So there's nothing I can do besides going back out, putting my boots on, and seeing what's out there.
Yes, it sounds like you are very resilient. You are not giving up because you have this, like I keep saying, inner drive. You have what's motivating you. You have this lifestyle, this flexibility that you're working toward for you and your children. And so you're like, by any means necessary, we're going to get there. And if this didn't work out, it just means that something better is out there for me. So it seems that you do a lot of positive self-talk. You do a lot of redirection. You do a lot of you're not internalizing these things to mean that you are not good enough, or you don't let those feelings simmer. You let it come and you let it go, and then you move on to something more productive. So Sounds like you handle rejection actually really, really well. Because the thing is, rejection is inevitable. Like that's a part of life. We don't need to think of ourselves as failures when we get rejected because it's literally just a cyclical thing. It's expected, and then you move on to your opportunity. But I think it can be very easy to internalize the rejection and start to look into yourself and be like, something is wrong here. But that is just not the case.
Exactly. It's just a redirection, right? That's what they say. It's a redirection to what you want. Because the other thing is, I don't want just a job to have a job. I want to be where I'm supposed to be. I want to be where I can grow and learn. So if it's not a right fit for me, I'm not going to just give up easy, but I'm not going to just keep banging my head against a wall. I'm going to trust the process that the right position is going to find me. And like similar with my internship, right? It during that hunt, I found it, and it was such a beautiful fit. That also helped me get over my imposter syndrome. Was being a UX designer on the team and being able to execute and deliver and deliver on time. It made me realize that I am capable of doing what I have to do.
What was most helpful for you to focus on during your career transition? So you just talked about how you landed this internship, the skills you learned, and those things helped your imposter syndrome even, like it helped to decrease that even more. So in getting that internship and in just the career transition process, what was most helpful for you to focus on? Like, for example, hard skills, soft skills, motivating factors, et cetera. Like, what do you think helped you gain these opportunities?
Focusing more on my technical skills helps me a lot because that was where I was lacking. So focusing on like Figma,
Okay.
and just the whole process that it takes to go through UX design so that I can, create an app.
Right.
I really had to focus on that because that was completely new to me. So my transferable skills, my soft skills, that is part of who I am. It's kind of become who I am. So I
Right.
didn't have to focus too much on that. So most of my focus came with building the new skills that I did not have or did not know about.
Okay. Well, good. Yeah. I think understanding where your weak spots are, it can be even more overwhelming because it's like, man, I know nothing about this. But it seems like, yeah, you knowing nothing about it just motivated you to learn more about it. It didn't put you in this place of like paralysis where you're like, well, I don't know anything and I'm just going to keep not knowing anything. You were like, I don't know anything. So what steps can I take so I can know a little bit more?
Exactly, because that's what builds the confidence that I need. So, you know what I mean? And I do want a
Yeah.
job. So it's like I have no choice. It's either that or just stay where I am.
Which is not an option.
Exactly.
I would love to hear a little bit more about what you've been doing recently. You've talked about this internship. So, like, tell us more about that. Like, how did that go? How did you land it?
So for the internship, I was on the Ascent Up website and I was just scouring, seeing, what information or free courses that maybe can help me. And then I came across it and I decided to like apply. And I applied, and it was a great opportunity. So I got the role, and then it was a team of four other individuals from all
Okay.
around the US that we paired us up. So there was a UX researcher, UI designer, usability tester, and things like that. And so they paired us up with a company that was looking to reinvent their app. And we had a certain amount of time frame to deliver their need. And then as the lead UX designer, for that project, I just had to make sure that we were delivering on time and keeping up with everything. It was very hectic, but very fun at the same time. And then also with Ascent Up, there was also not a coach, but someone that was there if you had any questions or needed help with anything. I mean, just another great support system as well. So I tried to utilize both Merit America support system and there's a support system to fill in any gaps that, if anything was missing. But it was
Good.
amazing. It was a great opportunity, and I feel so lucky and blessed that I was able to work with amazing individuals.
Oh, and it sounds like the connections were some like among the best thing that you got from the internship. But just wanted to ask, were there any other particular resources, guidance, or connections during the program Merit America that made a difference for you during your internship?
So I had a job coach as well too,
Okay.
which was very helpful. Like I had told my job coach when I was about to apply for the internship, ask her what she thought about it and things like that. So I had some guidance in that direction. I guess guidance and a little motivation, extra. She was extremely helpful. She was helpful in all aspects when it came to that job search because it could become a little overwhelming at times, but she understood where I was coming from and we were able to like break down what I needed to do and where to focus on, and then she also trusted, what I was doing too, which showed. So that was great.
Amazing. Let's transition to the present. So, how has your life changed personally and professionally since making this career transition, since being in the Merit America program and, having this internship?
Well, I no longer say I'm a massage therapist or a marketing manager. I have
What do
retired
you say
from.
now?
I'm a UX designer and researcher.
I noticed, right?
And yeah, so it's like I've retired in a sense from the holistic field. It's like a new, not even a new chapter, but a new book. You know, it's it's exciting and it's a little scary sometimes at the same time. But I am looking forward to, what the future holds. And
hmm
going through the program, going through my internship, making these connections makes me feel more secure, makes my
hmm
foundation feel stronger in where I'm going. So it's like,
hmm
even though I don't know exactly how I might get there, I
hmm
know what's at the end of. I know what my goal is, and
hmm
I have the knowledge
hmm
and the skills, to go forward. So when I'm in the interview, I am qualified. I have went through certain things. I do know what I'm talking about.
Wow, I got goosebumps. Like I'm truly inspired and I'm just so excited for your future. You talked about how you know where you're going. You may not know exactly how you're going to get there, but you know where you're going. So let's talk about that. What is next for you? Are there any career goals or projects that you're especially excited about? What do you see in your future?
Ooh, it so interesting enough. One of the other reasons why I had chose UX design was because I had like two app ideas in my head that I have been working on for a while. And so before Merit America and this whole journey, I actually paid someone to create what I can now make now, you know? And so
Wow.
that's exciting for me because now I can like take time and just play around with my ideas, see what I can do,
hmm
and different things like that. So along with my internship, the stakeholder, I am actually working with her. The internship is done,
Okay.
but we did maintain a communication, and so there are other projects that she has, and I do have skills to help. So I offered to help her in those aspects. As even with the app that we developed. So right now, it's actually the app that we worked on getting it in schools, and yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah,
Nice. Anything else to share, Kenny? Because we're getting to the end of our talk today.
even though this whole program has been challenging and really challenging, just living life. And taking care of responsibilities, a wife, mother, family, birthdays, Christmases. It's so much going on. It's just continuous nonstop. Um, but having your goal and knowing what you want can definitely be the gas to like get you through. Like that's really helped me. I want to excel and I want to grow, especially with the way the world is going. I want something that is sustainable. So I'm happy that I started, because like I said, it took me 2 years. And sometimes I tell myself, if I started 2 years ago, I would have had 2 years of experience behind me. Sometimes we just have to take that leap of faith and just do it. Just do it. And even if you fall, you can get back up and do it again.
Yeah.
It's not the end.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that perseverance. Just that never giving up attitude, and really just thinking about like, what do you have to lose? Like by taking that leap, like, yeah, you might fall, like you said, but you just get back up, dust yourself off and try again, right? Thank you so much, Kenie. Thank you for sharing your story. I know it will inspire other listeners who are thinking about making their own leap into a new career. And thank you all for tuning into this episode of Promoted. If Kenie's story resonated with you and you're interested in exploring how Merit America can guide you toward a rewarding career, visit our website at www.meritamerica.org and stay tuned for our next episode.
Thank you so much.